Today I would like to invite you to listen to the Dhammapada of the Buddha Shakyamuni, the 82nd verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in the USA. Just as a deep lake is clear and still, even so, on hearing the teachings, the wise become exceedingly peaceful. Dear listeners, the Buddha speaks in this verse of the profound tranquility and clarity that arise when one listens to the teachings of the Dhamma with mindfulness and understanding. A deep lake, undisturbed by wind or activity on its surface, reflects the light clearly and remains serene. In the same way, the mind of the wise, when receiving the teachings, becomes calm, steady, and clear. It is free from agitation, distraction, and confusion. Listening to the Dhamma is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is an opening of the heart, a harmonization of thought, and a softening of restless tendencies. Just as the lake's depth allows the water to settle and clarity to arise, the wise cultivate depth of understanding, patience, and mindfulness to receive and embody the teachings. The metaphor of the deep lake conveys both stillness and depth. Superficial understanding of the teachings may stir only temporary interest or excitement, like ripples on the water's surface. True peace arises when the mind absorbs the Dhamma deeply, integrating it into awareness. Emerge naturally, unobstructed by confusion, desire, or aversion. By cultivating stillness through meditation, ethical living, and reflection, the practitioner becomes like the deep lake, embodying serenity and clarity in all circumstances. The story of Kassapa Buddha's disciples illustrates this teaching. When the disciples heard the words of the Buddha, those who practiced deeply, living, and compassionate action, the Buddha emphasizes that peace arises from both listening and practice. Hearing the teachings is the beginning, but understanding and integrating them into life produces profound serenity. Mindfulness and reflection stabilize the mind, while ethical conduct nurtures confidence and trust in the teachings. Meditation deepens the calm, allowing insight to arise. Naturally, the wise, through continuous practice, become like a deep lake, serene, clear, and undisturbed by the turbulence of life. Just as water that settles reveals its depth, a mind trained on impermanence, interdependence, and the nature of suffering. As the mind absorbs these truths, it becomes steady, calm, and unshaken, like a deep lake whose depths are hidden beneath a tranquil surface. Peace and clarity arise naturally, reflecting the wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. The metaphor of the deep lake also conveys the importance of depth in practice. A shallow pond may be disturbed by even a small breeze, but a deep lake remains steady. Similarly, the mind that has cultivated depth through study, reflection, meditation, and ethical conduct is not easily shaken by reflection and ethical practice. The wise do not merely hear words. They internalize them, contemplate their meaning, and integrate them into every action and decision. Through this process, allowing the practitioner to act with understanding, respond with compassion, and experience profound inner peace. The story of Ananda, who faithfully listened to the Buddha's teachings and reflected upon them with mindfulness, demonstrates this truth. His mind, once restless, became increasingly calm and clear. By absorbing the teachings, practicing ethical conduct, and meditating daily, he experienced a profound inner serenity. The words of the Buddha settled into the depths of his mind, like water that becomes still after disturbance. The more deeply he listened, reflected, and practiced, the clearer and more peaceful his mind became. The teachings transformed not only his understanding, but his experience of life itself, providing clarity, stability, and enduring calm. Dear listeners, the 82nd verse of the Dhammapada teaches that true peace arises from listening, understanding, and integrating the Dhamma into life. Just as a deep lake becomes clear and, by cultivating listening, meditation, and ethical conduct, the practitioner transforms life into a practice of clarity, serenity, and understanding, reflecting the wisdom of the Buddha's teachings emphasizes the transformative power of listening with mindfulness and openness. Life is full of distractions, restlessness, and ceaseless activity. The mind, if untrained, becomes turbulent-like, but alive with clarity, wisdom, and gentle compassion. The deep lake represents not only calmness, but also depth. Superficial understanding of the teachings creates only temporary peace. Ethical conduct, mindfulness, and meditation are the supports that allow the mind to deepen, remain steady, and reflect truth without distortion. The wise become peaceful not because circumstances. Bark Cloth, a seeker who approached the Buddha with intense aspiration, exemplifies this teaching. Bauya listened to the Buddha's words with complete attention and receptivity, absorbing the teachings with an open and calm mind. Immediately, his mental agitation settled and clarity arose. The teachings acted like water poured into a clear vessel, revealing the depth of his mind's capacity for peace and understanding. This illustrates that listening with full mindfulness allows the mind to settle, become reflective, and experience serenity, just as the deep lake reflects the sky undisturbed. The wise, through this practice, experience profound calm and insight. The Buddha emphasizes that listening to the Dhamma is both an intellectual and experiential practice. Hearing the words is not sufficient. One must reflect deeply, observe the arising of thoughts and emotions, and integrate the teachings into every action, decision, and moment of awareness. Through this process, the mind becomes increasingly still and clear. Like a deep lake that gradually allows sediment to settle, the mind's restlessness diminishes, clarity increases, and compassionate responses. Even in the midst of challenges, the mind trained through listening and practice remains serene. Life presents difficulties, criticism, and unexpected events. Interdependence of all things. By absorbing the Dhamma and reflecting deeply, the mind stabilizes, finding peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. The calmness and clarity of the mind become a refuge, allowing skillful action, wise speech, and compassionate engagement with the world. The metaphor of the deep lake also teaches the importance of patience in practice. The mind, like water, may be stirred by distractions, desires, and emotional turbulence. Superficial listening produces temporary calm, but persistent mindfulness, ethical living, and meditation cultivate depth and stability. Each moment of attentive listening, reflection, and practice allows the mind to settle further, revealing profound clarity, serenity, and understanding. The wise speech with wisdom, clarity, and compassion. Like a lake reflecting the sky, his mind reflected the truths of the Dhamma clearly, undistorted by agitation or confusion. The wise, through such practice, experience peace that is enduring and profound. Daily application of this teaching begins with listening attentively in every moment. Mindful presence during the Dhamma talks, readings, and reflections allows the mind to absorb the teachings deeply. Observing thoughts and emotions, practicing ethical conduct, and cultivating meditation strengthen the mind's capacity for clarity and calm. Gradually, the mind transforms, becoming like a deep lake, serene, steady, and reflective. This inner stillness is a foundation for wisdom, compassion, and joy, enabling the practitioner to navigate life with balance, understanding, and insight. The Buddha teaches that the mind, once settled through attentive listening and practice, naturally radiates peace. Clarity arises effortlessly, allowing the practitioner to perceive the impermanent and interconnected nature of phenomena. The wise understand that true peace is not the absence of activity, but the presence of clarity, understanding, and gentle equanimity. Listening deeply to the teachings, reflecting, and practicing continually allows the mind to embody the serenity and depth described in this verse. Through such practice, the wise experience profound, enduring inner peace. Just as a deep lake is clear and still, even so, on hearing the teachings, the wise become exceedingly peaceful. Life is full of disturbances, desires, and mental turbulence. Our thoughts, emotions, and attachments often create ripples across the mind, much like wind and activity disturb the surface of water. Yet, when the teachings of the Dhamma are received attentively and reflected upon deeply, the mind settles naturally into stillness. Like a deep lake that rests undisturbed, the mind of the wise becomes calm, clear, and receptive, able to reflect truth without distortion. This serenity is not passive. It is alive, perceptive, and infused with insight and compassion. The clarity of the deep lake symbolizes both steadiness and depth of understanding. Superficial engagement with the teachings may bring temporary comfort, but true peace arises from integrating the Dhamma into thought, speech, and action. Ethical conduct, mindfulness, and meditation provide the foundation, allowing the mind to settle and wisdom to manifest. Listening deeply is an active practice. The wise do not merely hear words but absorb, reflect, and embody them. Through this depth of practice, the mind attains a calm clarity that is resilient in the face of life's storms. Just as the waters of a deep Bhaya approached the Buddha with complete sincerity and receptivity. When the Buddha spoke, Bhaya's mind immediately became still and clear, free from agitation. The teachings penetrated the depths of his awareness, dissolving confusion and restlessness. Like water that settles after being stirred, Bhaya's mind reflected clarity, insight, and peace. This story reminds us that listening to the guide the mind into steadiness and insight. Even amidst challenges, the mind that absorbs the teachings remains tranquil. Life presents difficulties, disappointments, and conflicts. Yet the wise respond with calm observation rather than reactive emotion. Through mindfulness and reflection, the mind recognizes the impermanence and interdependent nature of all phenomena, experiences into opportunities for reflection and growth. Over time, the mind becomes like a deep lake, serene, steady, and capable of reflecting truth clearly. The wise embody this clarity. Sariputta cultivated a mind capable of deep concentration, reflection, and understanding. By listening carefully to the Buddha's teachings and practicing diligently, his mind became steady and clear, and compassionate interaction, like a deep lake providing stability and reflection in the surrounding landscape. The mind trained through listening to the Dhamma offers guidance, support, and inspiration for all who encounter it. Daily life provides endless opportunities to practice this teaching. Listening attentively in Dharma talks, reading sacred texts, reflecting on teachings, and observing one's inner states cultivate the stillness of the mind. Meditation reinforces clarity, ethical conduct provides grounding, and reflection deepens understanding. Each moment of mindful insight and integration into life. This inner serenity nurtures wisdom, compassion, and clarity, allowing one to navigate life with balance, understanding, and joy. Through patient and continuous practice, the mind becomes a source of peace, a foundation for insight, and a reflection of the Buddha's profound wisdom. Thank you for watching my video. Namalamat Ba. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time.
you.